what makes a good or an interesting date. Sometimes I think for women particularly, dating doesn't feel like they just have their pick of all the guys and maybe girls out there and they're just indiscriminately choosing who they go out with. A lot of the time women can feel pretty overwhelmed by dating, that it's actually quite hard to distinguish who is sincerely interested in them, and they can feel like the whole of a dating thing feels like a job interview. So part of your role or how you can create a great date for them is helping them to experience the date as something new, as something different, and as something energizing for them. So we're going to be helping them break out of their patterns. I also want you to be demonstrating who you really are on a date. Now you might at the moment feel like a date is where you're going to be ultra scrutinized, and if you don't get an absolutely perfect performance, if it's not amazing, then she's just going to reject you. And that really isn't the case. Instead, I really need you to adopt the idea that a date is a two-way process. Because of that, whilst I want you to get really great at date planning, we'll be talking about that a bit later on, you need to also be dating in a way that feels easy and simple for you. This means that we don't want to be reinventing the wheel or planning overly elaborate dates as each woman you meet. Instead, I just want you to be thinking about how, if this date is a two-way process of you getting to know one another, how can you create an experience which is really conducive to that? Often if we do the classic but slightly boring let's meet for drinks, it can feel a bit like Groundhog Day for her going on a date, and that might not represent the originality that you bring into a date well enough. So if you can think about also seeing how open-minded she is and suggesting maybe an activity to do together, whether that's mini golf or yoga class, if someone is more open to that, that is a pretty good filter that she might be more invested in the dating process and immediately sets the tone that you are doing something unique and different. But fundamentally, you also have to come back to the idea that this isn't just a one-way performance of you trying to demonstrate some values to her. You also need to be looking out for a woman who is showing up, on time, engaged, actively listening, curious, and willing as much as you are to be with her to start to build that connection with you.